Facing a DUI charge, every decision matters. At the law office of Andrew W. Stewart II, we provide a skilled defense to protect your record, rights, and future. Call today or visit drewstewartlaw.com. Your future is worth defending.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama?
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Well, welcome in to Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. We'll talk to our meteorologist Gabe Maynard here in a minute on what has been a beautiful day, just weather-wise, but nice to actually see a few little spotty showers out there. Is it a sign of things to come? That obviously the big question we'll be addressing here in the Room to Room Weather Center as we progress throughout this broadcast. But I think very limited rainfall amounts on what we have out there this evening, and largely, for most of us, dry conditions are going to linger through the week. Of course, we're looking at the exceptions to the rule, and I guess all hoping for exceptions to the rule as far as that is concerned. As we look ahead toward our football forecast for both high school football, of course, our game of the week presented by Casey Lott. We'll be looking at that forecast as well as toward some big games, of course, around the region. That's coming up here in just a couple of minutes. But outside at this time, as you can see, those temperatures at the 6 p.m. time period still probably in the mid-80s, coming around 84 degrees, that temperature at 6, 72 by 9, 68 by midnight. Again, mostly clear skies gets us down low 60s by tomorrow morning. We have some 50s out there for morning lows. As we go later in the forecast, the deal is that's where we should absolutely be for this now first day of October, as we really kind of ratchet up the burr months. There's not a lot of chill in the air going forward, but we'll look more at that in detail here in just a couple of minutes. Outside this afternoon, though, Kosciuszko, again, a few showers there in and around Attala County. You kind of see those there in the radar on Mississippi Live Weather radar on the corner there. 86 degrees, the current temperature. The feels like temperature at 88. The dew point relatively dry, and just not a lot of moisture out there to yield some rain, and that's probably, again, more and more brown showing up on some of these cameras as well. 88 right now in Amory. There's one of those showers you can see kind of on the right-hand part of the screen and looking down there as well toward the horizon as we look kind of back in mainly an easterly direction there out of Amory, closer to the location south of Smithville at this time. Again, dew point relatively limited there, and 88 degrees in the West Point area with a smattering of showers around. We do have a few of those around the Golden Triangle as well that we are watching. Here's Mississippi Live Weather Radar. As we kind of look around, you'll notice most of the green, as has been the case recently. This is primarily clear air returns. So where is it not? Again, it's not much, but there are a couple of these just very, very little showers that have popped up this afternoon. Put a 1-hour loop on here. You can see them kind of drifting from the northeast back to the south and west. I mean, there's Amory, and that was that shot that we were looking at there south of Smithville, that one little shower sort of moving in. Tracking these is almost pointless from a meteorologist's perspective, simply because they pop up and collapse within 45 minutes. And even during that time period, there might be a couple mile area where there's some. So, I mean, if you're extremely sensitive to what's going on out there as far as precipitation is concerned, okay, yeah, I might have some issues, but I have 0 lightning strikes. So at least we don't have that threat with what we're having here. And when we kind of look at some of the rainfall amounts out of this, you'll get the idea of just how insignificant they are. So again, this is looking at a 3-hour loop here, and a few spots, we get some rainfall totals up 0.3 of an inch. That's one of the really lucky ones. That's, again, more the exception to the rule than anything else. Fulton showing up about a 1/10 or so there. Coming up, you can see that accumulating 1,500s there closer to Okolona. So again, this is in all locations pretty unimpressive. There's actually a way we can actually target where some of these showers have been a little more decent. And so some of these that we watch there move out of Monroe County through Clay County. You can see there is one itty bitty location where this says, and I'm going to laugh at this in a second here. If I get just the right spot, let's clear that off one more time and see if we can catch just that one good and green spot there. That says 1/2 inch of rainfall. That's probably overestimated by a bit, but hopefully someone was so lucky to have that be the case. Back over here to the rainfall mode, Mississippi Live Weather Radar, and you can see that one storm they had there near Muldrow didn't even make it to the Starkville area as it went through a bit of a collapsing phase. So it's kind of advanced things here, looking kind of around the region, and we'll go much, much wider shot on this. Looking at satellite and radar composite on that. I'll kind of pop off screen here for just a moment to be able to look at that. The big headline, at least for me, kind of looking at this, is there's just not a whole lot out there. Of course, we still have our tropical systems, Delia, out there. and that's, still a hurricane out in the Atlantic. Of course, Gabe will talk a lot more about that here in a few minutes, but there's just not a lot upstream to really change our weather forecast. High pressure, largely the story across a good chunk of the United States, including our chunk of the United States here, even though we have that northerly kind of little wave moving, and that's where we have a few sprinkles. Now, again, this is extremely optimistic on the coverage of rainfall there, and that might be the kindest way I can put that. Not expecting much in the way of precipitation. Maybe a few folks are lucky, but again, this is 1/10 of an inch if you're really lucky in some of these spots. This gets quite a bit going down here toward Canton. What that tells me is that projections, including our highest resolution ones, kind of overestimating the capability of some of these showers and thunderstorms. That's why I wouldn't be counting on much out there. Again, that batch, that little wave kind of moving from the northeast back to the kind of west there overnight. That's where, if anything, if we're going to see something of meaningful moisture south and east and around the Jackson area, more likely. A lot of us across the Magnolia State probably are not likely to see much. And again, that probably carries over again to tomorrow. We're 63 at 6 a.m. We're 69 by 9 a.m., 82 noon, and 87 on those east and southeast sort of winds. Again, that easterly wind direction, we need one to shift from the Gulf of Mexico to give us kind of a shift more toward rainfall. And it's just not really the case looking into the next few days. Coming up in 60 seconds, that's one of the things our meteorologist Gabe Maynor will be looking at in an extended forecast, if we can get some kind of transition there. Beautiful shot, by the way, in the background here. I always leave the Tupelo camera kind of the background there, but you can see some of those bubbling clouds almost teasing us. When do we move from tease to something else, maybe meaningful? We'll have that coming up here ahead as Mississippi Live Weather at 5 continues from the Room to Room Weather Center right after this.
Tupelo Smiles is a top-notch group.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
If you're facing a DUI charge, every decision matters. At the law office of Andrew W. Stewart II, we provide a skilled defense to protect your record, rights, and future. Call today or visit drewstewartlaw.com. Your future is worth defending.
Tupelo Smiles is a top-notch group. They're very compassionate about what they do. They've given me the smile that I've always wanted. I've been a patient for 15 years and I wouldn't go anywhere else. I just love Tupelo Smiles.
Get ready for a night of inspiration, laughter, and support. Join us on Saturday, October 4th at 6 p.m. at the Tupelo Cotton Mill, where outstanding men from our community will walk in her shoes. You'll hear powerful stories from survivors and caregivers, enjoy delicious food and drinks, and experience live entertainment in an evening filled with fellowship, fun, and hope. All proceeds go to support those bravely fighting cancer. This event is powered by Wear It Well.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Welcome back into Mississippi Live Weather at 5. We're taking a look outside from one of our Weather Watchers submissions, Angela in Nettleton, showcasing a beautiful start to our Wednesday, halfway through the work week. And I know folks are very excited to get into that home stretch. And we'll be doing exactly that with the same conditions, with those dry conditions and those clouds, like Matt was saying, teasing us, but not giving us any meaningful rainfall, at least not for 99% of us so far. Getting a look there in Aberdeen, 88 degrees. Now this is looking north and you can see some of those showers way off there in the distance, but even those not producing too much. So unfortunately, as we head into the next 24 hours, drought conditions more than likely going to worsen, but we'll have that latest look at the drought monitor here as we head into our Thursday. 88 degrees though, that's not seasonable for this time of year. Expect it to be a few degrees cooler, and that's not the case. We're not in that right pattern right now. Out there towards Cleveland, of course, you do have that cloud cover over there towards Monroe County, but looking over there towards the northwest part of our viewing area. Clear skies, blue skies, 91 degrees right now, but still those dew points around 63, so it will be a dry forecast, all things considered, but still a warm forecast. Mississippi Live Weather Radar, you can see a few of those showers expanding in through the area. One of the things that I noticed right there is a little bit of an outflow forming, getting away from these showers that are over there in the Starkville area, but could produce a few more showers that moves there towards Choctaw County. But Attala County, really a hot spot for some of those isolated showers developing, and so paying attention to folks in Kosciuszko this evening, not for anything inclement, not for anything too strong, just talking about a few drops of rainfall at most. Monroe County continue to produce a few of those pop-up showers, but overall we're going to remain on the drier side. If we're looking that nitpicky, that can tell you how dry those conditions are. So getting into Futurecast into our Wednesday night, you can see does well with the production of a few of those showers down around Attala, Winston, and Oktibbeha County. Up here on the north side, hasn't really verified so far, but that was where models were forecasting a little bit of showers into the same time frame, about 6, 7, and 8 o'clock. So models have been consistent trying to produce a few of those pop-up showers, so I'm not ruling it out completely, but so far on our Wednesday, we haven't exactly seen this verified, so I'm not going to hold too strong on those chances, but down here around Attala, Winston, and Oktibbeha County, definitely keeping a few of those pop-up showers around. Now into that extended forecast, we'll be paying attention more at 6 o'clock if anything does start to develop over there towards New Albany and the Ecru area, so we'll be paying attention to it, but again, not exactly optimistic on those chances, and we do have it forecasted to be mostly dry even for folks in Union and Pontotoc County. Now as we move that forecast into those overnight hours, what little rainfall we do have starts to dissolve on out, and we'll be seeing those dry conditions. Once again, a big part of our forecast moving forward. Thursday, your morning commute going to be starting with those dry conditions as well. Temperature-wise, still pretty mild, and that's the case as we get into the start of our Thursday, is the temperatures that are above average that we've been seeing the past several days now continue to stick around in our forecast. We're seeing 60 in Bruce, 62 Nettleton and Tupelo, same thing in New Albany with 65 Clarksdale, 67 Greenwood, Cleveland, and 69 around Greenville. So your school day forecast, mild to start at 63 degrees, in my opinion, perfect temperature, but climbing as we get towards the afternoon, 79 around lunch and 86 towards that final bell. What's helping warm up the atmosphere? All of the sunshine, as you can see right there. So another beautiful day, actually even drier than what we had today, and today was only about 10% coverage, so even taking a step back from that and experiencing more of that dry, sunny weather as we get into our Thursday. So all the more reason to get out and about. I know we can't with the school day, but maybe if your teacher wants to treat you guys, if you're being extra nice to them, they might take you outside to enjoy it. But especially there towards the afternoon, as we're still getting those dry conditions in place, there's your time to shine, and literally shine with that sunshine that will be in the area. 9 a.m. on your Thursday, winds coming out of the east, a little bit breezy, about 5, 10, maybe even 15-mile-an-hour wind gusts, but overall, it's just going to be driving in those dry conditions once again and keeping our forecast clear as can be even into those afternoon hours. So the little rainfall we have this afternoon, you better say your prayers and do your rain dance, because it seems to be the best chance we're going to have on rainfall over the next 24 hours or so. But into your Thursday afternoon, again, with those dry conditions persisting, going to make for a fantastic forecast, all things considered, for your Thursday. Looking at those high temperatures, though, it will definitely be warm, at least above average for this time of year. I'm still going to call it warm. The fact that we're still seeing 90s on the board, 90 Clarksdale, Tunica, and Greenville, 89 Cleveland, 88 Grenada, and 87 Tupelo and Amory. As we walk through that extended forecast into our Friday, you can see that dry conditions continue to persist in that forecast. Not really seeing any disturbance develop over the top of us, so rain chances, I want to say little to none, but we're more than likely on the none side of things. So that's not going to be anything too noteworthy for our forecast. The good thing is, on our Friday, we don't really want rainfall on our Friday because it's our football forecast. And of course, we want those dry conditions to stick around the area. But the noticeable thing that we'll have for our Friday is temperatures start to take a step back. Afternoon only going to be in the mid 80s or so, but overnight, that's where those cool conditions could be in place. So you might want to have that long sleeve on standby, or maybe some sweatpants on standby, because don't get caught like the meteorologist who was at 10 o'clock last week on Friday, because he didn't know what he was doing. And that, well, we learned, and we'll bounce back this week. High temperatures, 84 Oxford, 84 Holly Springs and New Albany, 83 towards Eupora, and 84 around Starkville. So that's what I'm talking about, those temperatures taking a step back. But as we look at that football forecast for your high school game of the week, 77 around pregame, 69 by halftime, and 65 by that final snap. Matt, I know that you weren't there through all the way around 10 o'clock, but I know that you were there for the majority of the game. Was it the same thing for you in regards to those cooler conditions? Like, could you feel that difference?
Yeah, I mean, I could feel kind of how much cooler it was by the end of the game, or while I was in there earlier in the game. So I do think that's the drier air we have allows that temperature to drop off a little more quickly. So I think that kind of might be one of the reasons why that is that's noticeable.
Yeah. And so do you think folks need to pack a long sleeve? I will say from my perspective, I had chill bumps at 10 o'clock.
Okay, 10 p.m. temperature, final slap 75. It would depend on the wind speed. You know, there will be a little bit more of a chill. Technically, wind chill doesn't kick in until you're in the upper 40s, but there's still a cool feel to it. So, I mean, ultimately that, or, I mean, worst case scenario, you take a little long sleeve and you sit on it and it's just more padding. I've always thought padding on the bleachers helps, and certainly if you insulate your tail feathers, you lose a lot of heat out of that. You think metal bleachers, you know, right out there, it's effective at pulling heat out of your body.
For sure, but at least it's dry, right? I mean, that's the thing with the past couple of forecasts. We've not been tracking any rain showers, so
yeah.
Very beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know with high school forecasts we're talking about that, but we still have votes that need to be submitted. Anything you need in regards to our Spirit Squad and Band of the Week? You
know, I think we're about ready where we need to go. I was checking through that just a minute ago here. Looks like we've got both of our groups. Of course, our game of the week between New Albany and North Pontotoc there, and it looks to me like we've got the Spirit there for North Pontotoc, for New Albany, as well as, again, Band for North Pontotoc and New Albany. So good. So we've got those all locked and loaded and ready to go. So voting on that begins tomorrow. We know this is obviously one of people's favorite times of the week, so we're excited to be able to kind of showcase that again here this week. And again, thank the good folks over there at Langston and Lott for supporting us here on our Mississippi Live Game of the Week there. But yeah, certainly, as I kind of bring it back there multiple times, we're just trying to get it ready, reset the clock on that. But yeah, things are good. We're looking forward to it, and looks like it should be great. Good to go. Vote tomorrow, and again, it is the likes on the pictures. It's not how many comments. The comments we do not go through and count the comments. You can tag people if you want to. You can mention if you want to rile people up in whichever way, positive or negative, that works. But make sure, of course, you're liking those pictures, and most likes in the combination of Facebook and Instagram wins.
Well, and keep in mind that it's not just, you know, if you're in North Pontotoc, it's not just North Pontotoc's votes. You can recruit other counties. So if New Albany has a rival somewhere else, well, hey, message them and tell them, hey, let's all win against New Albany. Or if you're in New Albany, let's all win against North Pontotoc. So there's methods that we have seen over the past couple of weeks that help those votes come in. So you can call it playing dirty, but I call it just what is it?
Gamesmanship.
Gamesmanship.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, and you referenced that, but the one that immediately comes to mind is the folks. It'd be South Pontotoc, right? When you were at South Pontotoc,
I wasn't going to name names.
No, I mean, give credit where credit is due. You know, with that, it seems like folks, you know, really work together in that situation, right?
Yeah, and I think North Pontotoc voted against South Pontotoc, from what I heard from South Pontotoc folks.
That just sounds like the blame game. We will ask folks out there whether or not they were that resourceful this week. Luckily, we will be able to go there and see in person.
Well, there we go. And we're excited to head out there. It should be a good time once again with good concession stand food. We had the community-wide tailgate last week, and they did not disappoint. So excited to get some of that. Golly, is it dinner yet? I feel my tummy rumbling already.
I missed lunch, so don't start saying that.
Well, so, hey, maybe the tailgate will come early. Well, as we get into this weekend, it's not just high school football that we're watching, it's also our college football forecast. And as you can see, brought by our Carl Hogan Toyota SEC football forecast, Vanderbilt taking on Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Believe it or not, a ranked matchup between the two. Vanderbilt really coming on strong this year, and it should be a great game. 83 degrees around that first play, 82 by halftime, and 79 towards that final snap. So temperatures mid-afternoon on what has been a warm forecast past few days. Luckily, not going to be overbearing, and that heat not going to be doing too much damage. Keep in mind, inside the stadium, those temperatures will be bumped up a few degrees because of all the people and that sun reflecting there in the stadium. And trust me, Bryant-Denny is a big, massive bowl. So all that heat basically trapped in one area will make it a little bit warmer there inside the stadium. SEC football forecast for Mississippi State. Traveling to College Station to, again, what I would argue, and I said this last week, should be a ranked matchup. But hey, if we actually finish the game this week against Texas A&M, who knows? Anything's possible. Texas A&M, the number 6 team in the nation right now, going to be a good battle. 88 degrees around that first play, 82 by halftime, and 76 by that final snap. Clear conditions stick around all week, or all Saturday afternoon long, or evening, should I say, 6:30 on your Saturday. So over there in College Station, if you want to make the haul out there and cheer on the Bulldogs and represent the true maroon and white, well, it will be worthwhile, especially with that forecast. So let's get a look at that 7-day forecast. 87 degrees on your Thursday, dropping into the mid-80s this weekend. So a little bit of a step back, not talking about a significant change, but you can see low temperatures at least going to be noticeably different. 59 degrees Friday, 58 Saturday, and those climb right back into what it has been the past few days. We're talking mid 80s, maybe even a few upper 80s in there, and low temperatures back in the mid to upper 60s. So looking at when that fall season might hit, we've been looking at this behind the scenes. It's looking like the next several days. We're going to have a look at some of those long range outlooks coming up tonight at 6 for when some of that cool fall weather will push in. And trust me, we are as eager for it as you guys are. So we'll be tracking that here in the Room to Room Weather Center, as well as that precipitation outlook. I know a few farmers out there needing some rainfall. We'll take a look at when to expect those showers coming up on Mississippi Live Weather at 6. We highly recommend that you go ahead and download the Mississippi Live Weather app. That kind of keeps you prepared for those rain showers that they're popping up in and around your area. We'll alert you sometimes before we do, just in regards to rainfall detected close by, lightning detected close by, and you can put your location on the apps. That way you can detect better GPS mapping. So it's just a great app, and I have it for my family, and we stay prepared that way. But yeah, just another layer you can add, especially whenever it gets to be stronger weather, possibly later on this season. Our next broadcast happening Mississippi Live Weather at 6 p.m. and of course at 10 p.m. tonight. 6:37 and 7:30, always your morning forecast readily available with meteorologist Maggie McCauley. Make sure to tune in to stay as prepared as possible as we head through the craziness of Mississippi's weather. We'll see you back here tonight at 6. Enjoy your afternoon until then.
Up here's where your biggest risks hide: leaks, mold, and expensive damage. Most commercial roofs fail slowly until they fail big. Why rip it off when you can restore it? Our silicone coatings stop leaks, prevent mold, and extend your roof life without the high replacement cost. It's a 30-year watertight roof, energy efficient, leak-free, and half the cost of replacement. And it's backed by GE's manufacturer warranties. Facility managers love this. No disruption, no tear off, and long-term protection for your property. Trust Absolute Restoration for your commercial roof.